I got, you know, I, when it comes to dating, people use apps. Sometimes people meet each other in the wild, as they say. And well, the people that use apps, there's a variety of apps that they can use. Well, one of them being like Tinder. Now, we're gonna check out here. Let me show you. We're gonna check out two disturbing Tinder horror stories, and it's animated, and it's by the YouTube channel The Price. Oh wait, it's by the YouTube channel My Untold Story. But the animation is called The Price of Desire. Let's check it out. Links will be in the description below. And if you've had a terrible Tinder date and you have a story, let me know in the comments below.
Good evening, everyone. Could you quickly let me know in the comments where you're watching from?
By the way, this thing's like 41 minutes long, so we're only gonna watch the first story.
And what time it is there? I'd love to hear from you. Now, let's dive into the first story.
Story number 1. Damn.
I'm Paul, a 28-year-old guy living in California. I've always had a deep love for traveling, and it's one of the things that keeps me grounded. Whether it's exploring new cities, experiencing different cultures, or just getting away for a while, traveling is where I find my peace. I'm the kind of person who prefers short-term, no-strings-attached relationships while traveling, rather than dealing with a serious girlfriend. Let's face it, having a girlfriend would be more of a hassle when I'm on the move constantly. So I keep things light. When I'm focused on work, I give it my all.
Fair enough.
But when I travel, I let loose and play hard.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's why he doesn't want to have a girlfriend, because it kind of wouldn't be fair to her for him to expect her to be loyal if he's going to travel and cut loose. But maybe he's only cutting loose because he can travel and it doesn't have a girlfriend. But either way, for him to be gone for so long, that's still not fair to her.
That's why Tinder has
So fair that he didn't do that.
always been a great tool for me. It allows me to meet people, explore new connections, and have fun without the long-term commitment. It's perfect for someone like me, free-spirited, always on the go, and looking to experience the world without the ties. A few weeks ago, I decided to head to Medellin, Colombia, with a few friends. We were going for a Bad Bunny concert, of course, but I also wanted to experience the energy of the city. Medellin was always on my list, and what better way to check it off than with a concert to kick things off? I was excited to immerse myself in the culture and the nightlife that Medellin had to offer. Little did I know, this trip would end up being far more intense than I had ever imagined.
I don't know if it's AI. I don't know. I didn't think it was. But now that you say it, yeah, maybe the voice might be.
So, I packed my bags, got on the plane.
But this is a story about a horror Tinder date.
And left California behind for a week full of fun, music, and who knows what else.
What
What
MC, by
happened
the way?
next? Well, that's where things got strange. When I arrived in Medellin, I was immediately struck by the vibrant energy of the city.
I mean, nah, the video definitely could be too, because people can put that in prompts and it will spit out a whole video nowadays.
After checking into my hotel and settling in,
I mean, like the background images and stuff.
I found myself by the pool, basking in the warm sun, soaking in the peacefulness. It was the perfect moment to relax before diving into the chaos of the upcoming concert and the nightlife the city had to offer. As usual, I pulled out my phone and opened Tinder. I swiped through profiles until I came across one that caught my eye. Evelyn was her name. She had a striking profile with a beautiful smile and a sense of elegance that made her stand out. Her photos made her look like someone who knew how to have fun.
Evelyn? You mean like the League of Legends character? That's a succubus? That's kind of like a succubus?
But also had an air of mystery to her. We matched on Tinder, and after exchanging a few messages, I could tell we were hitting it off. Evelyn seemed easy to talk to, and there was something refreshing about the way she conversed. As we exchanged pleasantries, she asked all the usual questions: where I was from, how long I'd be in town, and whether I was traveling alone. But then, she asked something that caught me off guard. "Are you traveling with a lot of money?"
What the
It was
fuck?
an odd question, but she quickly explained her reasoning.
Oh, hell nah, bro. Hell nah. Nope. It doesn't matter the reason. If you're talking to a chick you've met on Tinder or a dating app and she starts asking about your money, nah, nigga. Hell nah.
She told me that she was always cautious about meeting people who weren't actually travelers. She liked to meet people who were far from home, who had interesting stories to tell from their journeys in different parts of the world. To her, a traveler had depth, new experiences, and stories about foreign places, things that could make a conversation rich and exciting. I just prefer meeting people who are actually traveling. They've got so much more to share, you know? It's way more fun than talking to someone who's just staying here on a regular visit, Evelyn explained. Plus, there's no pressure. You're not stuck here, so we can just have a good time. I found that strangely charming, and it made sense. She didn't want the typical mundane small talk. She wanted to hear about new places, adventures, and experiences that could add a spark to her own life. And I could see why she'd be drawn to that. I told her I was traveling alone, just passing through, and that I was looking to enjoy my time in Medellin. She seemed pleased with that answer.
So she asked you about your money, and you also told her that you're living alone.
Words left an impression on me. I didn't expect that kind of thinking, but it was part of what made Evelyn intriguing. She wasn't just after some typical date night. She wanted something fresh, something adventurous. I admired that. It made me feel even more like I could enjoy the night without the usual expectations. It was that attitude that made me feel like this could be a memorable night. Maybe this was going to be more than just a random date. I was excited to get to know her better. She seemed pleased with the answer and immediately suggested that we meet up for dinner. "I know a great spot," she said. "It's a bar in El Poblado. It's a place I'm familiar with, and I feel safer there. But I'd prefer if you came alone." I was intrigued by her suggestion. El Poblado was one of the most vibrant areas in Medellin, known for its nightlife and energy. It sounded like a perfect place to hang out. I agreed, telling her I'd be there, and made plans to meet her later that night. As we exchanged a few more texts, I started to feel more comfortable with her.
Hell nah,
She
bro.
seemed
Careful.
kind, genuine, and curious. I had no reason to suspect anything out of the ordinary at this point. She even mentioned that she didn't want to bring anyone along because she felt safer with just me. It made sense, and I agreed to meet her without hesitation. Little did I know, this would be the beginning of something that would quickly turn from a simple date to something much darker. When I arrived at this bar, it wasn't hard to spot Evelyn. She looked just like her photos on Tinder, and I could immediately tell she was even more stunning in person. She had a slender figure, long brown hair, and a face that was both striking and sweet. I couldn't help but feel a strong attraction to her. There was an effortless beauty about her, and as I walked closer, I found myself pulling out my phone to snap a few pictures.
Nigga.
Nothing too obvious, but enough to send to my...
That's creepy, bro. That's creepy. But wait. Enough to send to your friends? Are you trying to like show off? Or are you like, hey man, see if you can look this girl up. Does she have a criminal background? Let me know. But then again, you could have done that yourself with her, with her images from her Tinder profile. But I guess they could have been altered in a way that it wouldn't recognize her. I don't know.
My friends and show off how great she looked. I knew they'd be jealous of my luck with her.
Jealous. Okay,
As I
that's what
got
you're going
closer,
for.
though, I noticed something that struck me as a little odd. Evelyn wasn't alone. She was sitting with a man, someone I hadn't seen in her profile pictures. He was tall, well-built, and had a casual, confident vibe about him. But what stood out to me wasn't just that she was with someone. It was the way they were interacting. They were sitting close, and every so often they would share these affectionate gestures, like when he put his arm around her, or when they shared a laugh and leaned into each other.
Red flag number again. That's at least 3 red flags, bro. Come on, man. Just. I was like, what? Nah, I'm out. What is this? I ain't signed up for this shit. I ain't trying to be no third.
It looked intimate. I hesitated for a moment, unsure whether I should interrupt their private moment. But as I approached, they pulled apart, and Evelyn turned toward me with a welcoming smile. She stood up, and we exchanged pleasantries as I introduced myself, though I couldn't help but feel a bit unsettled by the closeness I'd just witnessed. "Hi, Paul. This is my brother," she said, gesturing toward the man who had been sitting with her.
It's my her brother, quote unquote brother.
"Works here at the bar." It took me a moment to process what she said. "Your brother?" I asked, confused. They didn't seem like siblings. The way they'd been so affectionate towards each other felt more like a couple than family. But I didn't press it further. "Yeah," Evelyn responded with a casual smile, almost as if it was a normal thing. "He works here,
Sweet home Alabama.
and he wanted to join me tonight. I hope you don't mind." I nodded, trying to mask my confusion. "No, of course not," I said, though in my mind, I was already beginning to wonder about the situation. I tried to push those thoughts away, telling myself I was probably overthinking it. Maybe they were just close, or maybe I had misunderstood the whole thing. Either way, I didn't want to seem rude or judgmental, so I decided to go with the flow and enjoy the evening. Once we sat down at the bar, Evelyn suggested we have a drink first to loosen up. She smiled as she said, "It's more fun to dance with a little bit of alcohol in us, don't you think?" Her suggestion felt casual enough, so I agreed, eager to make the most of the night. Her brother, the bartender, greeted us with a friendly nod.
Bruh. The didn't she say that she was gonna be alone? She's like that she wasn't gonna bring anybody, and then she brought somebody. Like, red flag. Red flag, my guy. Red flag. It's not worth it.
I was surprised to find out that he worked here, as Evelyn hadn't mentioned it earlier. He seemed friendly enough, and he immediately went to work, preparing 2 different drinks. "This one's for you," he said, as he slid a drink across to me, explaining, "It's a mix of rum and something special that'll give you a bit of an energy boost. Thought it might be perfect for you." I raised an eyebrow, but didn't ask too many questions. The drink smelled good, and after a long day, I was ready for something to help me unwind.
Don't tell me the bartender is in on it too. But maybe it's another quote unquote brother.
I took a sip and nodded in approval. It was strong, but smooth, with a slight tang. I noticed Evelyn had a drink of her own, a sweet, fruity concoction that she sipped slowly, looking at me over the rim of her glass with that same mischievous smile. As we chatted, Evelyn's questions started becoming more and more personal. She asked if I was alone or if anyone knew I was there. "Are you by yourself?" she inquired,
red flag,
her
red
eyes
flag.
scanning me as if she were searching for something. "Do you have anyone with you? Are you meeting anyone here?"
All these questions about him being alone. All these different ways to ask if you're alone. Holy crap.
I tried to laugh it off. "No, I'm just here for the music and some fun," I said, hoping to steer the conversation in a more lighthearted direction. But Evelyn's gaze was intense, almost unnerving. She wasn't just curious, she was probing. She continued with questions that felt more like interrogations than friendly conversation. The
Red
more she
flag.
asked, the more uncomfortable I became. My head began to feel heavy, and the buzz from the drink started to grow stronger. I tried to focus, to shake off the oddness of the situation, but I felt strange. Was it the questions, or was it the drink? I couldn't tell. As I continued to drink, my thoughts became fuzzier. My vision started to blur, and I felt my limbs growing heavier. Evelyn's voice seemed to fade in and out, and I couldn't keep track of what she was saying anymore. My heart rate quickened, and panic set in as I realized that I wasn't just tipsy. Something was wrong. I tried to stand up, but my legs wouldn't cooperate, and before I knew it, everything went black. The last thing I remember was the cold chill of the bar counter against my face as I collapsed, unable to move. The world around me went silent, and I lost consciousness, completely unaware of what was happening next. I don't know how long I was out, but the next thing I felt was a cold splash of water hitting my face. I jolted awake, my head spinning. For a moment, everything was blurry.
They got him, bro. They got him the moment that he drank that drink. That's why she looked at him over her glass with that mischievous smile. Bro, it didn't take long. Like, the moment he sipped, and that's why she started asking personal questions. She didn't hold back. She didn't need to beat around the bush. It was like, all right, well, got you. Let me start off with easy personal questions and get more attention later on.
And I could barely make sense of what was happening around me. I tried to move, but I realized I couldn't. I looked down and saw that I was bound, my hands tied tightly behind me, and I was sitting on a cold, hard floor. I blinked, trying to shake off the fog in my brain. That's when I saw Evelyn and the man from the bar standing over me. Evelyn had that same smile on her face, but it was twisted now, like she was enjoying seeing me in this state. She was no longer the sweet, charming girl I had met just hours ago. There was no trace of kindness in her eyes. What the hell is going on? I demanded, struggling against the ropes. My voice was hoarse, and my body ached, but my anger was starting to override my confusion. Why am I here? What did you do to me? Evelyn's smile widened as she crouched down in front of me, her face inches from mine. You really thought you were special, didn't you?
Damn.
She sneered, her tone mocking. Just another clueless tourist falling into our little trap.
Damn.
I was still trying to make sense of what was happening when she continued. You thought you were so charming, but you're just a short, ugly guy with no money. You think you can just come here and impress people with your dollars? The man next to her, the one I had assumed was her brother, chuckled darkly. You may have thought you were the big shot, but you're nothing more than a mark. We've seen guys like you before. My chest tightened. What the hell was going on? They weren't who they had seemed to be. I started to panic as reality started to sink in. The moment they started tearing my clothes off, a wave of panic hit me. I felt exposed, vulnerable, like I was nothing more than a rag doll for them to play with.
You guys think they'll invent like a pill or something that you can put in your own drink that kind of nullifies any effects that of any of a drug that might be in the drink? You know what I'm saying? Like an anti-roofie pill. You guys think they'll ever invent something like that? That would be nice, in my opinion.
My heart pounded in my chest as they rifled through my pockets, taking my wallet, my phone, everything that I had. It was happening so fast, and my mind raced, desperately trying to think of a way out. But I was too weak, too disoriented, my body still struggling to wake up from the drugs they had slipped me. I couldn't stand it anymore. My rage took over. I shouted through clenched teeth, my voice thick with anger and defiance. What the hell do you think you're doing? I roared, my fists clenching in fury as I tried to break free from the ropes.
And yeah,
I
you
couldn't
can.
believe this was happening. They were treating me like I was nothing, just another target, another victim in their sick game. The anger bubbling up inside me felt like fire, and I wasn't about to let them get away with it. "Get your hands off me!" I screamed, my voice hoarse and raw. "You won't get away with this. I'll make sure you rot in prison. I'll call the cops. I'll report you to the authorities. Evelyn just laughed, cutting me off with a mocking, dismissive sound. "Oh, sweetie," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Shh, shut your stupid mouth up." She was so calm, so cold, it only made my blood boil more. I glared at her, fury radiating from every fiber of my being. "You're making a huge mistake," I spat, my voice seething with venom. "I'll make sure you both pay for this. You're both going to regret messing with me."
If you can find her,
"Open your eyes," Evelyn demanded, her voice cold and calculating. I could feel my hands trembling, my entire body sore from their treatment. I refused to cooperate, though.
Now, obviously, she can like decide to unalive him, but if he's alive to tell the story, then he's survived. I guess.
I wasn't going to make it easy for them, not after everything they had done. I clenched my jaw, staring back at her defiantly, even as my mind raced, trying to come up with some escape plan. But then the man, the one who had been quietly standing by all this time, took a step forward. Without a word, he kicked me hard in the ribs. The pain was instantaneous, sharp, gut-wrenching, and it felt like my entire body had been jolted awake. I gasped, the air knocked out of me, and my eyes involuntarily fluttered open from the shock. "Open your eyes, Paul," Evelyn said again, her voice now laced with impatience. "We're not asking anymore. You'll do as we say." The man stepped closer, and the threat in his eyes was enough to make me comply. My hands were still bound tightly behind me, but I slowly reached up with my face to unlock my phone, knowing there was no other choice. I could feel the bitter, acidic taste of defeat in the back of my throat as I watched Evelyn's cold smile grow. They quickly accessed my phone, and I could see the man pulling up my bank account details.
Damn.
"Look at this," he sneered. "This is what you call a tourist with money? Less than 10 grand? Pathetic." I watched, helpless, as Evelyn began transferring the money from my account into hers.
Damn.
Every movement she made felt like a nail in my coffin, a reminder of how powerless I was. I tried to scream, to curse at them, anything to break the silence, but my voice was hoarse. I glared at her, trying to hold on to some sense of dignity.
No.
"You won't get away with this," I growled, though my words felt weak and futile. "I'll call the cops. I'll tell them everything. You're going to jail, both of you." Her eyes narrowed, and she chuckled darkly. "Oh, sweetie, you're not getting out of here alive." I could feel my stomach turn as they drained my account,
Just defeated but destroyed by a pretty face.
taking everything they could. They didn't stop there. Once they had taken all my money, they began to beat me. The pain was sharp and relentless as they hit me, their fists landing on my face and body with sickening force. I tried to fight back, but my body felt like it was made of lead, and every movement was a struggle. My vision blurred, and my mind started to slip away. I couldn't feel my limbs anymore, and the world around me started to fade, and my mind was foggy, and my body no longer responded. The last thing I heard before everything went black was Evelyn's voice, cold and triumphant, as she muttered, "Good night, tourist." The darkness swallowed me whole, and I lost consciousness. This is the chilling real-life story of Paul Fong Nguyen, a 27-year-old from California, whose life was tragically cut short during a trip to Medellin, Colombia,
Wait, seriously?
in December 22. What began as an exciting adventure to attend a concert by a famous rap artist ended in a brutal murder, all sparked by an online dating app, Tinder. Paul had been traveling with friends, exploring the vibrant city of Medellin, when he decided to use Tinder to meet some local women. Through the app, he connected with Evelyn, a woman who seemed to fit the bill of what he was looking for. Their match led to a date, and they agreed to meet at a bar in El Poblado, a popular neighborhood in the city known for its nightlife. During their meeting, as Paul was talking with Evelyn, he secretly snapped a picture of her without her noticing and sent it to one of his friends on Snapchat, boasting about how beautiful she looked.
Oh yeah.
He admired her slim figure.
So his friends knew who he may have been like meeting up with. And so the cops probably caught her.
Her brown hair and her pretty face. His friend, thinking nothing of it, was unaware that this would be the last time he would hear from Paul. The next morning, Paul's lifeless body was discovered near a dumpster, about 8 kilometers away from the bar where he had met Evelyn. His wallet and phone had been stolen. The police quickly launched an investigation into the incident and uncovered that Paul had likely fallen victim to a dating scam on Tinder, a form of fraud that has become alarmingly common in Colombia.
God damn.
It's believed that Paul's murderer, Evelyn, and her accomplice had lured him into a trap. After their initial meeting, she had led him to a secluded location where the crime took place. His belongings were stolen, and his life was taken with shocking brutality, leaving his family and friends to deal with the heartbreak and horror of what had happened. This tragic story serves as a stark reminder of the risks involved in meeting strangers online, especially when predators take advantage of the trust built through social media and dating apps. What was supposed to be a night of fun, excitement, and adventure turned into an unimaginable nightmare for Paul and his loved ones.
Damn, bro. Damn. I thought he was gonna live to tell the tale, and so I thought he was alive at the end of this, but I guess I was just completely wrong. Holy crap! But yeah, I guess y'all stay safe out there. You know what I'm saying? Like at least FaceTime with the person, or find some way to contact them and talk to them before you actually meet up with them. You know what I'm saying? Or meet up in a public place. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. And yeah, as always, links will be in the description below. That was by the YouTube channel My Untold Story. All right, peace.